Hello everyone, this is the Duke, and I'm bringing to you one of my favorite non-pro PvPs. Now when I say non-pro, I mean not professional players or players that play for a living. So anyways, the map is Tal'darim Altar, and this is the... Oh, let me set it up for you. So this is a best of 5 series between these two players, and currently the series is 2-0 in favor of Sidewinder. So Chemist is facing elimination, so we're going to see a little bit... we're probably going to see a different style of play than what he would normally do. But let's get to it. Spawning as the green Protoss in the bottom left, we have Chemist. And spawning as the orange Protoss in the top right, we have Sidewinder. Now, these two players, they train with each other quite a bit. And like I said, they're evenly matched, they're both masters, they're friends, so they play each other quite often, and they know each other's play styles. So I imagine that we're probably going to see some rather unique play here from both of them. Anyways, one thing that you're going to see, and I'll tell you right now, you're going to see a whole bunch of mirror play. As this is a PvP, mirror play is actually quite common, because really, like in a PvP, you can't mass void raise. You shouldn't, at least, because you can get some Archons or some really devastating Psystorms. But anyway, we'll talk about that a bit more. Now, this was part of my Monday Night Arena series, as you can see with my logo, which, if you guys have never seen, you should check it out. It is every Monday night, and it's on my stream, my Twitch stream, that is. And what we do, it's basically like it's like Monday Night Fights in boxing, but for StarCraft, where I organize matches and people play each other. I usually try and do even matches so that nobody feels like they're going to get stomped by like a Grandmaster. Unless they willingly ask to be stomped by a Grandmaster, in which I can abide. Anyway, the map pool that we have, it's the 1v1 ladder map pool, and I picked ladder maps because I wanted it to be sort of like a low-pressure way to practice ladder, so that you can get on the ladder and feel less anxiety when playing. The only real anxiety you should face on ladder is the fact that you don't know anything about the player that you're playing. But I think this is good for just getting out those jitters. That being said, that this is a ladder map, it does not force cross spawn, so it could be close by ground, which is why both these players scattered close by ground. Now, going back to this mirror build, they both went Gateway, they both went Cybernetics Core. They both went Gas, too, after Gateway. And they both have a second Gateway going down. The only variance that we have so far is that Sidewinder decided to not put a Zealot out, whereas Chemist did put a Zealot out. They both still have their Stalkers, so that being said, Sidewinder, he's just down the Zealot. Not even a big deal, really. Chemist is going to drop 2 more Gateways right now, and Sidewinder does see this. He sees that there's a 4-gate happening, which, 4-gate is pretty good. It's pretty good. Someone should make a shirt that says 4-gate and have a person have me or something with a thumbs up, and it says it's pretty good. Now, it looks like Chemist was trying to get down a proxy pylon just really like here, or even get in here to get any scouting information. And he was denied because of the position of the Stalker. So Chemist does not know about the tech. He does know that there was another gateway there, and so the 2 gates and the Cybernetics Core and the 1 gas, but that's about it. Chemist tries to drop a pylon in the 3rd base, but Sidewinder sees this and, he decides, you know what, I can't have this pylon here, because I don't want you dudes coming in here to mess with my stuff. So he starts sending in his units. Although he was able to get the Zealot here, and the Zealot is going to try and sort of distract while Warp Gate finishes, which it was finished, but he wasn't able to get a warp in. So really nice micro there from Sidewinder, able to not even take damage on one of his Stalkers, whereas and another proxy pylon gets denied. So really cost-effective play there from Sidewinder, and some superb micro. He is able to stop any possible 4-gate aggression. So because of this, Chemist decides to drop his Nexus a little bit earlier, because he did have the minerals in preparation for his 4-gate. He also dropped his 2nd gas. Now here's where the differentiation in play style comes in. Sidewinder dropped his Robo already at about the 6-minute mark. He also has 4 gates as well. So in terms of production, Sidewinder does have the slight edge, only because of that Robo. But however, Chemist does have this gateway right here, I mean, this, I'm sorry, this Nexus that is halfway finished, whereas Sidewinder has yet to expand. Chemist also dropped his Robo. So, again, further lending to that mirror play, like, these guys just know each other so well. They don't even need to scout to really just sort of know what the other player is doing. Which is, I think, what makes this game really interesting. It's kind of like, it's like when MMA or DRG or like Huck and Idra play each other. They know each other. They don't even need to scout. They just know what's going on because they play and they train against each other. Although I liked when Idra and Huck were not on the team. It was more fun to watch, in my opinion. So it looks like Sidewinder's going to be poking around here. He does have more stalkers than Chemist has, and he also has that Zealot. So I think he's just sort of just waiting to see, is Chemist going to push out? He does have those 4 gates, which does lend to aggression. Sidewinder's Nexus is about halfway done, and Chemist has started mining on his. So income is slightly favoring Chemist at the moment. Especially, and when that starts kicking into, that'll really put Chemist ahead there. Now, interestingly enough, Chemist decided to go with an early robotics bay. His robotics bay, and look, Sidewinder just started his robotics bay, and there's about a 30-second lead for Chemist. So he is going to be able to have Thermal Lance a little bit faster in case he decides to push out. He's going to be able to have at least 1 more Colossi, assuming these guys just stay on Colossi production for really the whole time. Observer is out for Sidewinder. He wants to poke in, as well for Chemist. And with these paths, these Observers are going to run into each other. They might do like an Observer high five. I don't know. So again, just awesome mirror play here. I really like this because I don't feel like I'm missing too much because really one thing I say can apply to the other. Although, differentiation, Sidewinder did not go with a Colossus. Well, he can't yet. He decided to pump out an Immortal, which, interestingly enough, Chemist does not have an Immortal. And I think that Immortal in PvP is so essential. You can have a couple more Stalkers, which Sidewinder does have. But if you're not going to go with the Immortal, you really should have a couple more Stalkers. So, looks like Chemist was not able to get in as the Observer would have prevented, the enemy Observer would have prevented him from getting in along with all these Stalkers. Sidewinder tried to poke in here, but he was not able to. Chemist also has another Observer, so if Sidewinder tries to see his army, it will get sniped, which isn't a huge deal. Chemist is able to sneak in here and see what's going on. He sees so far he only sees the 2 gateways. However, he does now see this robotics bay. Or no, he did not. Let's see, is he going to scout it? Yeah, so he does see the robotics bay. He also sees that he does have 4 gates, just like him. So let's look at the unit composition of Chemist right now. He still only has he has 7 Stalkers right now. He has a Colossus that's almost done. Thermal Lance is almost done as well, which is really important. And it looks like he is favoring a macro-oriented game, as he is trying to take down this 3rd base as quickly as he can. Additionally, he dropped another robotics facility and a forge. And one of the big debates really in PvP is, do you want to go for upgrade advantage or do you want to go for an army size? I guess that's a really broad and general StarCraft play. StarCraft, sort of meta game. I personally prefer upgrades over army. I still want to have an army. Obviously, you can't win without the army. But if it comes down to having 1 less Stalker immediately, then yeah, I'm gonna go for the +1 attack. That's just how I feel about it. Another really cool facet of this game that we've seen so far is that neither of these guys have been able to get a successful proxy pylon warp-in. Sidewinder did drop a pylon right here. There's also another pylon right here, and I want you guys to note something about the positioning right here. With this positioning, he can only get 2 Zealots in at most, which means you will be able to get a warp in. It took, about maybe 15 seconds to kill that pylon? Yeah, you could get a warp in right here in the time that these Zealots come in here to take it, because only 2 Zealots at most can get in here. So note that proxy pylon positioning when you're playing Tal'darim Altered. Now, those 2 pylons did actually manage to supply block Sidewinder. I think a bit of a miscalculation there in terms of a supply. So he isn't going to be able to produce any more units for at least another 10 seconds or so. Third Colossi is about to finish. And if you look at the unit composition of Sidewinder here, this is looking pretty scary. He does have these, he has 10 Stalkers, these 2 Immortals, a handful of Zealots, and these 3 Colossi, almost. Whereas Chemist, he has these 3 Colossi, about the same amount of Stalkers and less Zealots. He does, however, have an earlier, well, actually, almost a mirror timing on the 3rd. But what's important to note is that Chemist, he does have +1 attack, and +1 armor has been finished for him already. Additionally, since he has this second robo, he is able to produce more Colossus more quickly. Now, it looks like Sidewinder is going to be poking around, maybe looking to go for the kill here. He does have this proxy pylon right in the middle of the map, so he is able to do warpins. And yeah, just a bunch of stalkers for Sidewinder right now. What's also important to note, though, is that even though Chemist has less stalkers, he has less zealots, he does have 5 Colossi now, with fixed thermal mass and +1 attack. So that's really important. And that's going to be monumental in terms of deciding how this battle is going to go down. Because as far as unit composition, it is actually favoring Sidewinder. He is ahead about 1,000, almost 2,000 in minerals and almost 1,000 in gas, even though their supply is the same. So it looks like Chemist is going to be poking around here. I think this was more forces than he anticipated, so he did lose 2 or 3 stalkers right there and that observer. However, here's the big engagement, and looks like the concave is definitely favoring Chemist here, and he was able to snipe a tremendous amount of stalkers. So that was a great engagement for Chemist, and you know what really decided it was the 6 Colossi with +1, and +1 armor about to finish. So, yeah, less favorable engagement for Sidewinder here. He is down in terms of units lost as far as minerals, and Sidewinder does see, oh man, he has a bunch of Colossi. He doesn't have that many stalkers though, so what is he going to do about it? It's tough. That's what makes PvP tough for me, is deciding like what to do from here. What can I do to sort of give me that slight edge? Even if it's only a slight edge, what can I do? And I think Sidewinder's answer is going to be Templars and possibly Archons. Now, Zealot Legs are finishing for Chemist, which Zealot Legs are really important. Really, it makes the other person have to produce more, have to use force fields more effectively to keep the Zealots out. The Zealot Legs have been started for Sidewinder as well, although he is a full 100 seconds behind on it, as Chemist has finished his. Chemist has also is about halfway done with +2 ground attack, and he did just start Blink. Now, going with the deviations in their play, Sidewinder does have a Stargate. So, I mean, we might see some Void Rays or even like a Scouting Phoenix, although really it's just more cost-effective to research Hallucinate. I don't even know why I said Scouting Phoenix. It's, sorry, kind of dumb of me, but whatever. We might see some Void Rays, or we might see my personal favorite, some Carriers. Now, for those of you who don't know me, or don't know very much about me, I love epic units. I love Carriers, I love Battle Cruisers, I love Broodlords. I wish Guardians still existed in StarCraft 2, but man, I didn't notice that they make that noise. Anyways, I love epic units, so in any game where I see, every game I hope there's epic units, or I hope there's like a nuke or something, because that's just so much fun. Ha, there's that noise, that's so funny. So let's look at the army composition of Chemist here, who's almost maxed out, by the way. He has 9 Colossi, 9 Stalkers, 6 Zealots, and these 2 Immortals. Whereas the unit composition of Sidewinder is more Archon heavy, less Colossi, although there are a bunch of Zealots with Zealot Legs now. Oh, and there it is, a fleet beacon. Oh, I hope there's Carriers, that'll be great. So, looks like Chemist and Sidewinder are both trying to take their 4th right now, and they're actually at about the same time. Sidewinder's is like ahead by about 5 seconds, but that's really about it. So again, it just goes to show you that like if you train with someone enough, you're going to know everything about their playstyle without even having to scout as often, which is kind of a load off your back. It saves some of those very precious APM for really anything else. Oh, and there's a mothership. So we are going to see a mothership out of a Sidewinder here, and that is maxing him out. He does have just truly a frightening amount of Zealots here. He has 23 Zealots, whereas, however, these 9 Colossi are just going to wreck these Zealots. Additionally, these Archons with +2 attack and +1 armor now, they're going to be really good. Now, interesting to note from Chemist here, he has 3 starports already. Wow, Stargates. Starports are Terran. And he has 3 more on the way, too. So I think we are going to see a transition to air-oriented play here. which in a PvP I think in a PvP that's actually a really good decision, especially against a unit composition like this that's really zealot heavy. Even because these zealots are going to get melted by these colossi. The archons are going to get up in there and just clean house. Now, interesting thing to note about these two playstyles is that Sidewinder's been favoring an army heavy composition. He doesn't have any upgrades whatsoever, whereas Chemist is 2-1. And it looks like Sidewinder is going to be pushing in here, just sort of seeing what the unit composition of Chemist is. And I think he's trying to free up some supply right now. I think he wants to get more stalkers, more blink stalkers to deal with these very scary colossi. Cool thing to note, they're both on 4 bases. As far as income goes, they both have 72 harvesters, and they're really about the same. Although Chemist is favoring gas income rather than minerals, that's okay. In fact, it's actually probably better because Sidewinder is floating 3,000 in minerals, whereas Chemist is floating like 2 grand. So Fleet Beacon is about to finish for Chemist as well. So we'll probably see a mothership. Very important in PvP. It's starting to happen a lot more often too, as that mothership makes a huge difference with ground armies, so you can get that Archon toilet going. Chemist is pushing, poking around with these zealots here, and he is going to deny mining this 4th base and very easily snipe these nexus, as +3 zealots do all kinds of crazy stupid DPS. Not a problem though, because Sidewinder took another 4th over here. Same with Chemist though; they both took a 4th in mirror positions actually. So at the moment, Chemist is ahead in income, but I think we're going to see the big engagement here, and kind of a surround going on right here. Stalkers, the zealots, and here it is, the big engagement, guys. So a little bit of a miss micro, very quickly snipe that Archon. And it's hard to say how this is going to go because those Colossi with their +3 attack and their DPS. Ooh, I think these units were on move command, so he did lose quite a bit of DPS there. 3 Void Rays are in here. They're microing down the mothership, and there's the Vortex. It sucked up a lot of the Colossi. And I think this engagement is going to favor Sidewinder. Look at this mothership. It has like 2 or 3 health or something. Oh man. Okay, so the Vortex has ended. However, we do have these Immortals right here, which are just doing so much damage against the Colossi. And Sidewinder makes it out of that engagement. 2 health? Are you kidding me? Man, awesome. Really nice engagement there for Sidewinder. And you see, it just goes to show you how important that Vortex is in PvP. That Vortex, because had he not done that Vortex, Chemist would have pulled ahead in that engagement, just due to those 9 Colossi. So Chemist is in a bit of trouble here. He is going to lose mining on this base right here. But he does have this base that just barely started. He does have 2 other fully saturated bases. And it looks like Chemist is going to be favoring a Void Ray composition, as he is now +1. He is +1 on air already. +2 has been started. +1 shields have been started. And only just now is Sidewinder getting upgrades. He started a +1 attack, shield, and armor all at the same time, hoping to catch up. And he does have +1 air, as he is making a transition into Sky Protoss, or Fleet Protoss. I think that's the more accurate term, because Sky applies really to Terran, I guess. This sounds cooler, Sky Terran. I like that. So 4 carriers are about to finish for Sidewinder there. He is going to attempt to deny mining on this base right here, which is really important at the moment, simply just because, well, I mean, if we look at the income, it is favoring Sidewinder at the moment. However, the really nice positioning of this pylon on the high ground, and I think this is what a lot of players hate about Tal'darim altars. You can abuse little things like this, putting a pylon on the high ground so you can warp in zealots, or even DTs or something ridiculous like that. So he's going to deny mining on this base. Chemist is going for the Graviton Catapult upgrade, which we might see some carriers out of him, which would be cool because I love carriers. Sidewinder is going to be able to salvage this 4th base, whereas Chemist still does have 2 mining bases. He has this one, which is fully saturated. This one is about to be mined out, but he does have this other base right here. He did lose the Nexus right here, though, kind of important, whereas Sidewinder has this Nexus fully mining, this Nexus fully still mining, and this Nexus about to keep mining. So Chemist is in a bit of a bad position. However, he has chosen to persevere. +3 air attack has been started for him. His air units are 1-1-2 as far as upgrades, and his ground units are 2-1-3. So upgrade advantage is heavily favoring Chemist right now. he does have quite a bit of Void Rays in this composition, 11 Void Rays right here, some Archons as well. However, Sidewinder has carriers and a mothership and Colossi, so I gotta say, at this moment in time, it looks like the army composition is favoring Sidewinder. Simply because he can get another Vortex out, which would just be devastating against these Void Rays, because they get bunched up, the Archons would run in there, and then that Archon toilet would happen. Oh, for those of you guys who don't know what an Archon toilet is, and I know I have some people watch my videos and they don't know too much about StarCraft, although they'd like to, which is what I'm trying to teach. An Archon toilet is when you drop a Vortex from the mothership and you throw all of your Archons into it. Now, the reason it's important to send your Archons into it is that Archons do splash damage. And Archons, when they're fully upgraded, do 34 damage per attack. So, here's the big engagement here. And, oh man, look at these Void Rays. They're just, like, sniping these carriers. There goes the mothership. Oh, jeez. +3 Void Rays. Or +2, I should say. However, there's too much AA in the terms of these carriers. And a huge warping just happened, too. Not to mention, these Immortals are just going to destroy these Colossus, which really, that's about it for Chemist right here. He has these four Colossus and a handful of Stalkers and Zealots, but really, like, Chemist is in a lot of trouble right here. So we had a bit of a warping right here. Chemist was able to snipe that Nexus. Really important for that to happen, just with those two Zealots, as a Sidewinder was a little bit distracted. However, Chemist is, yeah, like I said, he's in a lot of trouble right here. He's going to lose these 3 gateways. He lost that Forge, which was getting the +2 shield, I believe. Yeah, is that right? Yeah, it was researching +2 shield, so he did lose that upgrade. This base is producing the mothership. Is he going to get the cancel on it? Yeah, he is going to cancel and manage to save all those resources. He did transfer a lot of his probes to this base, and he does have this base and this base still mining. However, Chemist is in a really bad position, as Sidewinder is going to be destroying the infrastructure. And infrastructure is incredibly important, as he is losing all of his gates, which means he's not going to be able to build Stalkers. He is going to lose the Cybernetics core, and those Stalkers are pivotal to taking the heat off of those carriers. However, that hasn't deterred him, as he's still producing units. He is producing more Archons. He's got more Void Rays on the way, as he does have these two Stargates. And yeah, even this probe is just like getting in there. He's just like vicious. It's like, I want to participate. Let me in. Or it's like one of those, like, I guess, like making fun of short people. I shouldn't, because I'm a short person, but that guy that's like, let me at him. Let me at him. That was actually a shout towards my friend Josh Birch, because he says that all the time, making fun of me. Anyway, Sidewinder is just cleaning house. He was able to snipe the fleet beacon, so there's going to be no more motherships. He killed a lot of gates, a lot of Stargates. This Nexus, which really was pretty much mined out at that point in time, so not a huge deal. Chemist decides to do a counter push, and he decided to go for this base right here, which was really like the only mining base. Zealots in the mineral line here, and they are gonna win out in this engagement simply because they have the upgrade advantage. As +2 Zealots are really hard to kill, as it turns out. So this is a really tense moment because Sidewinder is not mining. He's out of mining. This base is destroyed. This base is getting destroyed. And whereas Chemist is still actually mining. He does have this base right here. He's long distance mining from this base. And this base, which he hasn't really been paying attention to, is really still good. It hasn't been attacked yet, although Sidewinder is choosing to remain aggressive, and he is going to push out with these Archons, a couple of Stalkers, and these carriers. The unit composition is heavily favoring Chemist right now, simply because there are so many Archons, and there are just these carriers which, if you're not microing your units are going to get caught up on the interceptors, and you're going to lose those units to the interceptors, which are actually, and for Sidewinder right now, those interceptors are kind of expensive to rebuild, as he is having to. Well, he isn't doing any mining. He doesn't have any Nexuses to Nexi? Is that right? I don't know. Someone correct me in the comments. Anyways, I think it is Nexi. So Sidewinder is going to give chase. Chemist does have these Void Rays, which he could have easily sniped this carrier, although he is choosing to focus on another carrier. He does manage to take one down. However, Chemist has lost virtually his entire army right now. He has this Colossi and a couple of Void Rays and a handful of Zealots. Which, as we've seen, his Zealots are pretty good. They're 2-1-3 on as far as upgrades go. Now, Chemist is building his Cybernetics core, although where, I don't know necessarily. Oh, right there. So he's going to be able to start warping in Stalkers again. these Zealots are going to be moving out across the field, really just looking for places that are mining. However, they are going to get intercepted by some of these Archons, and Archons do really good damage against Zealots. So if we look at income, Chemist is almost pulling in 1,000 minerals per minute, whereas Sidewinder, oh, this is a tough position. Look at this. Sidewinder only has 310 minerals. He's 90 minerals short of being able to build a Nexus anywhere. So it looks like he's going to be doing he's probably going to have to do some long distance mining, probably from this base, which is the closest base to one of his Nexuses, or Nexi. I don't know. I need to stop being hung up about that. Anyway, Sidewinder is still messing around. He has these 2 Colossus, these 3 Archons, and these 4 carriers, really, which will be more effective against. Chemist did lose an Archon and a Void Ray, which he really can't afford to be losing units like that at this point in time. He does have a little bit of units here. However, there are just too many carriers and Colossi really to deal with this. He does. Now, I think Sidewinder made kind of a mistake here by leaving all of this infrastructure. He does have these 2 gates. He can still produce Templar. He can still produce Void Rays. But I don't know. It might have been an oversight. I don't know. It's hard to say. Chemist is fleeing from this battle as this engagement really doesn't favor Chemist at this moment, as he only has 3 Void Rays. Now, Sidewinder has been long distance mining, but he hasn't done enough to be able to get this Nexus down, which it will be really important for him because he hasn't. Yeah, he's only pulling in like 40 minerals per minute because of this long distance mining. And it looks like Sidewinder is going to spare this base. I think a bit of an oversight there. At this point in time, if I were Sidewinder, I'd be taking out like literally every base I could. I don't want him mining at all. So he is going to send this carrier out here to, or not, he's going to pull him back. He did cite the Cybernetics core, so we're not going to see any more Stalkers for a bit of time until he rebuilds. However, Chemist is still mining. He has this base right here. This base right here, which is mining a little bit, and he is going to try and take this base on the other side of the map. So mining has been stopped at this base, which was the largest mining base, the most saturated base for him to mine at, and it looks like he is going to take down this Nexus. Bit of a probe transfer over here to the possible new 5th or 6th base, I guess? I don't know, 6th base. Really the only other mining base other than like this guy and a little bit of this guy. Sidewinder still long distance mining. His Nexus has finished. He has produced a couple more Templars, so he is going to be able to get more Archons. He doesn't have Storm, and there's no Psionic units, so it really is just going to be for Archons. Sidewinder is going to destroy this base right here, which is about half mined out, so really good decision making there, deciding to go for that base. Chemist is long distance mining, although he has dropped his Nexus here, and he does have he is sending his Archons, and looks like he has these Void Rays over here, these 4 Void Rays. So Chemist is back up, and as of right now, yeah, he is mining a little bit. He is mining more than Chemist, who really is he mined out that base, so Chemist is pretty much long distance mining. More Archons going down for Chemist. And Sidewinder is heading around the map, sort of just trying to see if he can catch a probe transfer or any stray units, or really just try and figure out what's going on. Because he doesn't know about this base, although he's got to suspect that he has to be over here. Now, Chemist did catch a probe transfer, and he is going to scout this Nexus, which is the only feasible mining location for Sidewinder. And these +3 Void Rays are just going to destroy this Nexus, especially when they get charged up just like this. God, look at that damage. So there goes the only mining Nexus for Sidewinder right now. He is going to have to do more long distance mining. And is he going to get this Void Ray? No, the Void Rays do manage to get away. That would have been a good pickup for Sidewinder after losing that Nexus. Sidewinder does see that there is a base over here. However, these 4 Archons with their +3 attack, they're just going to kill these Zealots, and it's not even going to be a big deal. Bunch of probes over here for Chemist, which he does see, and he is going to send to start mining. Now, Sidewinder does see that he has a base here, so it is probably time for him to move out, which he is. He has 2 Archons, a Colossus, and a handful of carriers, which actually kind of favors him at the moment. It definitely does. And, oh man, another really bad position for Sidewinder. He only has 225 minerals this time, which means he's 175 minerals short of being able to build another Nexus really anywhere. So we're going to have to do some super long distance mining.
Anyway, Sidewinder is moving into this base. He is going to stop mining on it, and he's going to catch quite a few probes. And I think, yeah, Chemist is deciding to pull away, because if you notice, this whole time, Chemist has just been producing more and more Void Rays. He has this guy right here. He has another Void Ray coming out, too, that's about to finish. So I think he's just sort of just waiting for his time. And Chemist does know that pretty much he can see with his vision that there is no base here, and he sniped this base. This base is mined out. He has a zealot on this base. He has vision on this base, this base, this base, and this base. So he knows that, and he'll know if something's going down over here too, or he'll at least be able to warp in like a unit, because he does still have 2 gateways. So he knows that pretty much at this point in time, Sidewinder is not mining. Sidewinder can't mine. He's long distance mining. His income is almost 0, whereas Chemist this whole time. Now, if you remember, Sidewinder neglected to take out this base, which I think was kind of a huge oversight, because this is the most saturated base for Chemist right now. But regardless, unit composition is still kind of favoring Sidewinder, but it is changing ever more as Chemist has been building Void Rays, which Void Rays do, especially +3 Void Rays, they destroy carriers, and this Colossus too. Not to mention he has Archons to combat his Archons and these Zealots. So Sidewinder is moving out across the map. He doesn't see this kind of vision. Chemist is looking for a more favorable engagement, and he is going to lose his Archon, these Zealots, and this other Archon too. So I don't think that was necessarily the best engagement for Sidewinder to make. He should have pulled back and waited for his carriers to get there. Oh, you know what I just realized? He didn't have Zealots earlier. He warped in those Zealots instead of building another Nexus. Oh, man. That is... Wow. That is tough. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't think that was necessarily the best decision to make. But regardless, Sidewinder is engaging the 1 mining base of Chemist right now. However, this is not a good position for Chemist to engage, Sidewinder to engage in, because Sidewinder is very easily going to lose his Colossi. And now comes the chase. This is why Void Rays are awesome, because they can move and attack. And man, +3 Void Rays are just bamf. He snipes these carriers just so easily. And folks, that is the game. Now, I gotta say, I casted this live 2 Mondays ago, or 2 or 3 Mondays ago. Anyways, when I was watching it, the whole time I was just thinking, man, Chemist is like so totally screwed, because Sidewinder's just awesome, and he has carriers and carriers, but let's look at what won exactly the game for Sidewinder, or Chemist. Sidewinder left this infrastructure alone when he could have very easily taken it out with his army. Additionally, he didn't snipe this base, which became the most important base for Chemist. He was too busy, there was a lot of indecision, deciding whether to take out this base, take out this base, take out this base, which he did take out these 2 bases. However, this base became the important one. It is a little bit more defendable as far as like getting Archons over there, but still, he should have taken that out. And really, I think the game-changing mistake was when he warped in his Zealots, which actually were right here. He warped in 3 Zealots instead of building a Nexus, and he forced a long-distance mine from like presumably 100 minerals or less. And I think just the combination of those 3 decisions, not taking out the infrastructure, leaving that base when he could have very easily taken it out, and also warping in Zealots at the last moment, while Chemist was still like he was like ninja mining. He was like mining a little bit here, he was mining a little bit here until it got mined out. He was mining a little bit here, a little here, a little here, and a little here. The ninja mining and the constant production from the infrastructure that was left over won the game for Chemist. Additionally, upgrades. I like if you guys don't believe in upgrades, believe, because if you notice, like if he had just like regular Void Rays, he probably could have taken down 2 of those 4 carriers, maybe 3, and that's like being generous. But the upgrades, man, especially when Void Rays get charged up, God, they do so much damage. Well, anyways, I hope you guys learned something, and more importantly, I hope you liked my casting and this awesome game that I brought to you. Chemist and Sidewinder are regular players on the well, by what I mean by regulars, they play pretty often, and they play pretty often on Monday Night Arena. I really like having them on because they're both really good. They know each other so well, and they're really good to play against the other Masters players like Yummy or like Corone and stuff like that. Sorry, I'm wasting time. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the game. Check out my channel subscribe to my channel for more games. Follow me on Twitter. Check out Monday Night Arena, and if you want to add me, please do so on StarCraft. Let's play some matches. I'll cast them and maybe even put them on YouTube. So thanks for watching, guys.